And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, March 31st, 2018. It is Season 12, Episode 12. I'm Scott.
I'm RJ.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Matt.
I'm Josh.
There's Josh. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm also known as Sick because I came down with some stuff. But, yeah.
Was that within the past hour?
No, man. That happened, God, when was that? It was Monday. I think I started feeling it, and then I got sick. So
Okay, I didn't know if you caught something at...
No. I was sick when you were up here helping us do this thing. I was
You didn't
sick.
let me know, thanks.
Well, it's not like we made out or anything. We didn't, drink after each other. Okay, let me get into this real quick, and let's get everything started so we can go. Let me do this. This is where I get this clap so I can sync up the stuff later. There. All right. That's so I can sync up the video afterwards. But anyway, we're done with that. This is a very different... If you're tuning into us for the very first time, you are not going to hear what you would normally hear for one of our shows. This is completely different. I'm not going to give out the phone number. I will say that you can go to ingamechat.net and find all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat. You can find us on Facebook at InGameChat. We have a Facebook Live video going right now at InGameChat's Facebook page where you can watch the show. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We are streaming also on Twitch. So if you go to twitch.tv, you can type in Game Chat at the top. You'll find us. Then you can watch live while we broadcast. You can join in the chat room while everybody is there and watch just everything that is about to happen here. Like I said,
Better or worse?
this is a very different episode than one we have ever done before. And this is an experiment. This is exactly the reason that we started doing this, is because we can experiment, we can try something different, we can try something new.
Shake it up a little.
And that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to play a game of Dungeons & Dragons on the air. If you are not familiar with this, then you are not alone. I am not either. This is the first time I have ever done this. This is the first time I've ever played. It's the first time I've ever created a character. It's the first time I've rolled dice outside of playing Monopoly or some other board game or,
Zombie die. Or,
shooting craps, whatever. It's the first time I've done anything of this nature. So this is a first time for me. I think it's a first time for RJ as well.
Yes.
And Josh, who is here, is our game master. He is the one who is going to proceed to tell us the story. The narrative is going to happen through him for the most part. Sarah is here for this special occasion and has brought in our dice trays that looks like they were handmade.
They were.
Oh,
I made the dice trays and the dice bags for you guys.
Oh, wait, you made these for us?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I just thought these were like, here's my dice bags.
No, those are for you
You
guys.
made a comic book dice bag for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sarah did a labor of love for us, and we appreciate it.
I thought she was just like, here, this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. You divvied them up. I didn't know.
It's almost like you don't know her at all.
I'm learning. So, okay, let's see here. All right. So we're going to get started. Josh, I think you're going to take it from here. This is a different show than what we've done, so there will not be any kind of breaks in between. I've got regular music to play while we're doing whatever. I picked up some battle music to play in case we go into battle. It'll probably sound like this every time because every time you press this button, it starts from the beginning.
Is it like the Final Fantasy battle music?
No, it's just whatever this is. It said it was battle. You can't hear it, can you? None of you can hear it. It doesn't matter.
You could have been like,
Hold on,
yes, it is.
And first of all, what is this in case we get into battle?
Well, in the event that this works, I don't know that battle music will work or not. So.
Okay.
Anyway, with that,
Don't scare me like that.
Sorry. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started then.
All right. So, the campaign setting I have titled The Arlenian Thaw. On the continent of Hithlind, a medieval-aged fantasy world, there is a kingdom known as Arlene, north of a mountain range called the Emerald Caps. It separates Arlene from the rest of the continent. The Emerald Cap Mountains are named so because 2 times a year they cast a greenish hue and a bluish hue to signify the thawing out and the freezing of the region, the coming and going of the winter months. Recently, your party has found yourselves in the capital of the Arlene Kingdom, known as Saint Arlene, in honor of the Knight of Valor who was brought into sainthood. Establishing the city, he tamed the frozen wastes. Life has been difficult for many, especially with the recent months. The freeze has been incredibly harsh, more so than the locals remember in a long time. The thaw hue over the Emerald Caps occurred 1 month ago, and the city and the kingdom remain frozen stiff. Panic has begun to set in, and with the local military outside of the kingdom on matters of international affair, the only hope to the city falls to a guild known as Guild Valor, and the brave souls inside of it who have taken on small jobs and large jobs alike. It is a guild for adventurers in the kingdom capital, and it is led by one known as Vincent Elwyn. Although, Matt, being of the Bard's College, you know his full name.
Okay.
His full name is Vincent Storman Tamarel Corte Guinevolian Rida Elwyn II. Losing his nobility from his father's actions growing up, he regained it and is passed on into legend as Guildmaster of Guild Valor. You have all been given a job to meet him in the morning. As you wake up in your barracks, you find that it is a brisk, cold morning, just like any other, surrounded by your fellow guildmates. You live in a communal-type barracks system. There's bunks everywhere. There's little to no privacy, and it doesn't help.
Just the four of us?
No, there's a
more?
lot of people there.
Okay.
You each have a small chest that has a key that you're given when you pick a bunk to sleep in.
Mm.
You return the key on your way out. You can see the frost outside of the window, and a lot of the other guild members stir for their own missions. You don your bright scarlet tunics that indicate you as newcomers to the guild, and you make your way to the guildmaster's office. Is there any... Well, before we get started, give me a brief description of your character and just real quick where they're from. We'll start with Matt.
My character, Matt, the entertainer,
The
is a bard.
Okay.
Comes from a small town, wanted to, go out and do adventure and make his ways. Found out that he could cast spells and with music, so he became a bard to make ends meet, and now is a traveling storyteller and troubadour.
All right. My character, Sarah, is a dragonborn ranger, so she is not human. She is a bipedal dragon. She was literally raised by wolves and was a trapper out in the wilds. With the weather getting worse and worse, she had to come on into town to survive.
What is the make of your dragon scales?
I am a bronze dragonborn.
All right. And RJ?
Will we understand what that means later?
It's what they look like. They have
Okay.
they have like, it looks like their scales, their dragon scales, their hide
Gotcha.
is made of bronze.
Oh,
it has
okay.
a bronze metallic sheen.
Gotcha.
Apologies in advance because this is not going to be
Yeah, right?
well detailed.
Okay.
I'll give you the basics. My character's name is RJ. I'm a cleric and with a background of a sage. Basically, I'm just going to be the support character. My function in any campaign is basically heal and support. That's what my focus is going to be on. But I can cause damage as well, so use that as you will.
So what brought you to the guild basically could have been with the thaw claiming many lives, there being many refugees from outlying towns and villages that couldn't sustain themselves.
Just
you have-
basically the need. Basically,
you have
need a
jumped
clerk,
in to
you
help.
need a healer, you need a medic.
Kind of
That's
like
what I'm here for.
like a nurse, going to help out people.
Right. And Scott?
My character's name is Scott because we're going to use our real names for this particular version so everybody can understand whose voice belongs to what. My character is a human. I kept it very basic and simple. He's a fighter. He's part of the city watch, who's sort of, the local authority
Yeah.
in town.
Local militia.
Yeah, exactly. That's about all I got.
It's fine. It's fine. A basic story is a great place to start.
That's
because you can
really
just
going to be
build from there.
basic.
Yeah.
Yep.
As you all get dressed, get washed, have your breakfast, which is small, by the way. There's not very
Because
many
food, yes.
provisions. There's not very many provisions to go around. It's been 1 month, and the city is already starting to feel the effects of essentially being under siege by the weather itself. You knock onto the office of Vincent, the guild master. You open the door, and his office is very gaudy. It's very brightly colored. There's a lot there that just kind of throws you off guard. But your experience with the guild has been that the actual person is a very practical person. Only slightly above average in height. He is a human. And he wears a blue overcoat with kind of the frills on the front, and his signature hat, almost sombrero-like in size, with a massive feather in it that you cannot place what creature it's from, hangs next to his desk. And he turns around, very small glass of wine in hand. He says, good morning. Please, take a seat. We have much to discuss today. So you take your seat, and he says, as you well know, the thaw has not occurred in a month, as it was expected. This was a particularly rough winter, and many have started to turn to illicit means. With the weather not changing, panic is starting to set in. Banditry, most of all, is our chief concern, within the city and slight and partially without. A merchant caravan from the Hunters Guild in the south areas braved the snowy pass over the mountains of the Emerald Caps, and made it with only minor casualties. In their weakened state, however, they were hit by bandits only 2 hours out from the city. Part of the caravan was lost. The rest of the caravan is not enough to allay the fears of the populace. Before word gets out of this disaster, we must find these supplies. 2 wagons we know of. Find these bandits, neutralize them, or bring them to justice. Bring back those supplies. We have a contact with ears to the criminal world in the nearby tavern. Speak to him. Come back if this bandit camp proves too strong for you. We will rally reinforcements. We have until sunrise tomorrow.
Okay.
So, what will you do?
Is this something we discuss amongst ourselves?
Yes, you're going to decide, how do you want to handle this? You could go to the tavern, like you're instructed, or you could go to the site of, he marks the location of the attack on your map, so you could go there yourself. You could speak to the contact in the tavern. It's up to you.
All right, I talk to the group and say, I think probably the best thing to do is get information first.
I was going to go with that idea, too.
We go to the tavern.
Get all the information you can first before you go.
What do you think, Sarah?
Okay.
Sarah's okay with that. So,
So yes, let's
we're going to go get...
grab our. Do we have all our equipment on us?
Yes, all of
Okay.
your equipment's already set up, good to go. He told you to come ready to travel,
All right.
and you did. You step out onto the streets, and the temperature shift is brutal. You go from what was already cold 50-degree conditions to below freezing almost immediately. You take a right and head to the nearby tavern known as the Frosted Badger. It's a large 2-story timber-framed building with a very large cellar. And the tavern has what are known as phantasmal entertainers, spectral forms from magic. They act as copies of the local minstrels and bards and serve as entertainment when they're not available. Sort of fantasy holograms, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
You move inside and you locate another person wearing a similar tabard as you, marking that he's from the guild. You sit down and
Is he wearing the red scarf showing that he's a newbie as well?
no, his
Okay,
has
so he is
the-
senior.
His has on the front. It has a purple chevron with a long sword and a dagger, actually piercing through it. So the long sword and the chevron indicates he's from Guild Valor. The dagger indicates that he is one of the intelligence gatherers for the
Okay.
guild.
Let's go and talk to him.
He sits playing a lute, and his name is Gervelia, excuse me. He says, good morning. I imagine Vincent's already given you all the details. What would you like to know?
Morning, brother. What have you heard about the location and the size of the bandits?
Well, from what we understand, the bandits were a small force. A large part of the caravan was in the front, expecting an assault from one side where bandits usually are. I believe the bandits routed around and attacked from a different direction, but I know only of 8 or 9 that were part of the assault according to those who survived. What I do have for you is a lead. A number of the citizenry have gone into this kind of into this bandit group and have joined them.
Oh.
Out of panic, unable to feed themselves or others. And it has caused the local garrison to be hesitant. The last thing you need is the bodies of locals. It sends people into panic, no matter what they did.
Do we know if they're completely loyal or just out of,
Well,
can we turn them, like use them as an information source?
Well, I'm no interrogator, but I would imagine that if you could find 1 or 2, you could certainly get them to lead you to the camp with the right kind of persuasion, one way or another. A local dwarf, one of the blacksmiths, his son is missing, and the description and things that he has told us lead me to believe that he's not telling everything. His son up and disappeared, and he's not known to do so. This is very out of character for him. I would suggest speaking to him, and he gives you the basic directions. Says, I would say, while you're out there, be very wary. There are signs of other creatures in the woods that could pose a threat. Especially in this cold climate, a lot of the stronger creatures are up and on the hunt, searching for food. What was normally a pack of wolves that would avoid a group will consider to attack out of desperation.
Natural creatures or supernatural?
Natural as far as we can tell.
Do we know what kind of armament the bandits are using? How well equipped they are?
A lot of it is put together from whatever they could find. Some are local militia that abandoned their post. I imagine they would be more heavily armed and and trained. As far as their armaments, well, in the city, most people at least carry a dagger. I would expect that. Improvised spears are also something you should be wary of. To take on a caravan like that, I imagine that they would have some kind of trick up their sleeve.
Maybe.
Commoners wouldn't be able to stage something like that.
I wonder if they have any horses or, if they're horseback or not. All right. Any other pertinent information you could think of?
Wear some very warm clothing out there. And I wouldn't be out past nighttime.
Okay.
It gets much colder.
Well, thank you for your information, brother.
Go with the Pantheon.
Do you think we should track down this lead with the blacksmith's son?
Probably. I don't know what other option we would do other than
We have the map. We could go straight to
directly. Yeah.
The more information, the better. So go.
I was going to say I would talk with the blacksmith's son,
See if we could gain any more information from him.
and he's a blacksmith's son. Maybe there's some supplies.
Yeah, maybe the blacksmith himself, because the son's missing. So the blacksmith might be able to
Yeah.
equip us. All
Yeah,
right.
we should go talk to him then.
All right. You step out and you start to move through the through the city, and you have to be careful as you go. The normal methods for combating the cold don't seem to really work that well. Usually salting the road helps with traction, but people are slipping and sliding almost everywhere they go. Fortunately, you have experience. You have experience being on the march, especially during the colder winter nights, and
Yes, I do.
you're naturally accustomed to ice, so you help out your 2 friends with avoiding slipping. As you're traveling down the way, you hear the hustle and bustle of what few market stalls are still open, trying to sell goods for higher, but not quite gouged prices just yet. And as you get into the market, you can see that there are people hiding and away from the wind, and the market stalls themselves have shifted to avoid the biting wind, leaving a very large pathway in the center. Who is in the front of the party? Who is leading the way?
Who wants to lead this? Anyone? I'll lead.
Being a local, you know the area very
I was going
well.
to say, it seems like it's probably either going to be me or you wouldn't put your healer in front.
You better not.
I'm in the back singing about Sir Robin.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'll take lead on this.
All right, so you lead the party through the market square, and as you come to a large intersection, I need you to make a perception check.
How do I do that?
Okay. What you will do is you will roll a 20-sided dice
Uh-huh.
and add your perception skill.
Okay. Right. My perception skill is a +2,
So roll your dice
and
and add up 2.
that is 9.
All right, plus 11.
Yeah.
You're listening out for, being a militia member yourself, you're listening out for any kind of signs of trouble that could be picking up. And just a short distance away, something catches your ear as you go down the main thoroughfare, and you turn to your right, and it's this sound of almost like a roaring thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear, and you turn and you look, and bouncing off of the cobblestone and deflecting off a couple of buildings, a cart has come loose with people trying to chase it and slipping and falling, and it is headed towards the intersection that your party is standing at. Because of your role, you see it in time to get out of the way,
Okay.
or you can attempt to stop it. You could keep it running. You could have it run into the market square and crash into the stalls, or you can attempt to stop it yourself.
I'm on City Watch, so I'm probably going to want to stop this thing.
Okay. Anyone else who wants to can see what happens and pitch in to try and stop this thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
Matt?
All right, let's do this.
You don't have to. I guess.
We're a team.
Okay.
Okay.
What happens now?
How do you plan to stop this wagon? It is a four-wheeled wagon. It seems to be carrying some kind of cargo. You're not sure what.
So we don't know how heavy it is or anything like that.
What's around us?
Around you is the market square. There's quite a few people moving through the area. It's a very trafficked area.
Are there basically, is there something we could try to
Block it.
block the street with to slow it down, like benches?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Baskets.
Benches, there are
bard.
crates.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things you could attempt to do.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and try to start knocking down a barricade
Okay.
type thing.
Make an athletics check. What are you two going to attempt to do?
What could I do? What could I do? I have no idea.
It's literally anything you want. Ask a
you
question.
said
if
4
you-
wheels. I'm thinking how break one of the wheels.
All right. So you ready? What weapon do you have?
I got a mace.
You might need something a little more substantial to break a wheel.
I have a longsword.
That might not do it. But there's lots of timber in the area. So what you could do if you want to break the wheel, you could try to throw a timber into the wheels.
Right, okay. Then that's something that
Okay.
we would try and do.
Anything to
I-
stop
Okay.
the wheels from turning, whatever. Yeah.
So I need both of you to make an intelligence check to time this properly.
Wow.
Can I try that as well?
You could help them time it. Yeah, sure.
Now, where
so
do
if
I...
you're going to help,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say to make this less of a headache, I'll say both of you can roll at advantage. So what you do is you roll the 20-sided dice twice, and you take the higher of the two.
So you don't.
Not you, but everyone else. You're going to help them.
There's
So
an
you
extra d20.
you take two 20-sided dice, you
Yeah.
roll them, and you take the higher of the two numbers.
Okay.
Okay.
17.
17. What's your intelligence?
My intelligence, it's +2.
Plus 2, so 19. Yours is 10 plus what's your intelligence? The modifier.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a 0.
0.
0.
No modifier.
Okay, so you're a little sluggish on the uptake, but with Matt's help and with Scott's getting it down to the moment. You all push and you throw this beam in right as the wheel is coming by. Sarah, you see it. It's almost in slow motion as you see this massive 4x4 beam just go right through both of the rear wheels of the cart. And the cart just crashes into the market stall. Into the market square without hitting one of the stalls.
I got a 12 on my athletics roll.
Okay, so you managed to throw
build a barricade.
Yeah, you managed to throw a couple of boxes in the way. And so when the wagon crashes and comes to a screeching halt, it bumps up against the barricade, and the wagon manages not to hit anyone. It does a significant amount of splintered wood everywhere. But people are okay.
Good.
And you see this elf come running up, and he's short of breath. He's like, "Oh, thank the Pantheon. That was close. I'm sorry. It came loose. We were trying to get the chocks off so that we could continue moving. My name is Athelion. I'm in your debt. Well, is there anything you require?"
Athelion is just
An
regular
elf.
old.
He looks to be a merchant.
Okay, just a merchant person. Merchant of what? I guess would we ask them that?
You turn and you look into in the cart, and you see that he appears to be a merchant of textiles.
Ooh, we could use the textiles for clothing to help fight the cold, possibly.
Y'all already have cold weather gear. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you already have essentially parkas and stuff.
Okay,
to
so
fight
we're
against
not
the
going to
cold.
be affected that.
Well, now, being outside at night, you might have to throw some interesting survival skills into
Okay.
play. But other than that,
All right.
and you see it has blankets and coats and such, and I'm keeping it on the time.
Is he new in town?
No, he's been there for quite some time.
So he wouldn't have been with the caravan.
No, he is most certainly not from the caravan. He takes local sheep and goats, and he, working with a weavery, creates clothing and such for them.
Other than textiles, what you said, we already got what we need now.
Yeah, you all already have clothing.
Just
I tell you, the only thing I can think of is what happens in RPGs. Like, did a good deed get a discount later on? Maybe just a favor for later on, I guess.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of right now.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know if if we're gonna need, maybe some, if we do find the blacksmith's son, or people to bring back, if they're gonna need, cold weather stuff. But I don't know, just say we're doing our job and be on our way.
Nothing. So nothing.
I can't see.
I mean, can you think of anything that we
Because
would
we've
do?
already, like you said, we've already got our cold gear already,
Yeah.
and I don't see us hanging around.
Has he got any money on him?
I will say,
We're not gonna take money from them.
RJ, being of the local clergy, being a cleric, you would know that while the local clergy has done what they can, there's not enough supplies to go around in donations
Okay.
to
Maybe
keep
we-
people warm.
Yeah, we could, since we did a solid for him, he could help out some of the locals.
Just pay it forward, and I guess
Yeah, and see if he can't, help out, donate, to some of the people that are in need.
Yeah. But just tell them where the best who needs the most help right now. Have them go there. Do that.
So he goes, "Yes, that would be apt. I'll do just that. I can't have you leave with nothing, though. So here, take this." And he goes into the wagon and he pulls out a silk rope that was meant for the local docks. And he says, "This is a 50-foot-long silk rope. If you're, it's much more manageable and much less painful than a regular hemp rope. It's very fine quality. Should you need something that will hold, this would definitely be it."
I'll take it.
Okay, hands to you. So yeah, that, I'm going to say, for stopping the wagon, you gain what's called a GM advantage. So, or GM inspiration. So, I'm sorry. So once, one time at any point in this session, if you roll something and it's a bad roll, you can decide to re-roll it again and gain advantage like what you just received.
Okay.
One time. And each of you get that for pitching in to stop the wagon. All right, so you move over. Takes a few extra minutes to get over to the blacksmith shop, and you see the blacksmith shop is actually closed. But sitting over to the side is the blacksmith, a dwarf, actually, one of the local smiths. And he's sitting there playing with some kind of piece of leather. Not really sure what he's trying to make.
Do we, since Scott is local, does he know him personally? Like by name?
He's one of the ironsmith dwarfs.
Okay.
So, and ironsmith is his last name.
Okay.
So they all go by ironsmith because that way you don't prefer one dwarf over another. It's a dwarf
all right,
thing.
I'll go up to Master Ironsmith and say, Master Ironsmith, we've heard that your son has gone missing.
You saw the posters then,
what can you tell us?
Well, he, not but a week ago, he vanished out of thin air. I've been trying to keep things together with the family, but he and I had a bit of a disagreement, and I don't know where he went to make his own fortunes, I imagine.
I'd like to insight check him.
All right. So, to explain what happens, Sarah suspects that the dwarf is hiding something and is going to roll what's called an insight check to determine if the dwarf is lying or if he is hiding something. Okay, what'd you get?
15.
15. You can easily surmise that he is saying and he's pausing and there are stutters in his words. And he looks much more worried and distraught than just confused, which is usually indicative that he knows something.
For radio, I'm going to talk loudly, but I'm whispering to Matt.
I understand the concept of a
I'm
stage whisper.
explaining to
Yeah.
the audience. He's lying about something.
Is there something, I'm talking to Ironsmith, is there something you're not telling us?
Not to my knowledge. No, I have no idea what happened to him.
Because we've heard stories about locals joining the bandits. If your son happens to be a part of it, we're going after them. We don't want to cause undue harm if we could, help it. If, please let us know if there's something that you would really like us to know.
Roll a persuasion check as the dwarf mulls over what you have to say.
7 plus 5 is what, 12?
12.
That's a 7? Okay, that's a 7, not a 1.
Yeah.
12. He just kind of deflates for a moment and...
Out with the dwarf.
Yes. He says, I do worry about that sometimes, and I don't want anything to happen to him. But at the same time, the price of banditry is steep. So I dare not think about that. If he has done something, you're going to want to look in the stones to the east, southeast. They would be following along the caravan routes, I would think, looking for anyone foolish enough to brave the cold.
Okay, good. So we have a little bit finer direction.
So when you go to investigate and try to track the bandits down, you will gain advantage on rolls to do so.
What does your son look like, so that way, if we can bring him back, we know who we're looking for?
Says, well, he's a bit like me, but his beard's a bit shorter. And he stands a medium height for a dwarf, quite broad-shouldered and a stout person. His forearms are just huge from years, decades, centuries even, hammering away at the anvil.
What's his name?
He'll respond to the Iron Forge.
Thank you, Master Blacksmith.
Please, see your father and his son back.
We could do that. All right. I think we have a pretty good amount of information. We kind of know where they're going and
Yeah.
where they're traveling. I say we,
Head in that direction?
yes.
All right. You start to head out away from towards the south city gates, and the pass to the south is the main thoroughfare towards the Emerald Caps. And it is the most direct route. 2 hours out from the city would mean that they had already passed a couple of villages on the way, which explains why the guildmaster is so concerned about word spreading. It wouldn't take long for a villager to come by and ask where the supplies went. You leave out of the south and start making your way towards an hour or so. At this point, it is close to about the equivalent of 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So the sun has burned away much of the fog, but the cold remains. So you start looking around, and you can clearly see the wreckage in the caravan, and or what was obviously a battle. There's disturbance everywhere, and you see that part of the local militia have already begun looking over the scene of the attack.
Are we considered in the mountains, or are we still in the
Yes.
foothills?
Well, you're in the foothills, but it's the foothills would count for mountainous terrain, if that's what you're asking.
Yes, that is my favorite terrain.
Yeah. No,
I
really.
get advantages.
Okay, gotcha.
As a class called a ranger, Sarah gets certain abilities that enhance her ability to navigate
Right.
terrain and be able to locate certain monsters, know the area very well, that sort of thing.
So she should be taking lead then, huh?
At this point,
Yeah. You're in the lead now.
All right. I want to start looking around for signs of how many bandits were involved in the
okay. Make
The
a
survival.
to look in
Or
the area.
investigation.
I'm going to say investigation,
That is not one of my better.
but everyone can pitch in if you ask them for help.
Yes.
In addition, Matt, you actually have an ability that you can use called a bardic inspiration. Being a bard, you can give someone a pep talk and add a bonus to their roll.
Okay.
You have You have 3 of those that you can use today.
It's bardic inspiration. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can
What
pick
do I-
one person to give sort of. You can play a song. You can give them a.
Going to play a song for Sarah to help her with her
Okay.
role and inspire her to
Okay.
go forth.
Add a 6-sided dice to your roll.
3.
Total.
I got a 2, and I have a -1.
There's a lot of snow around here. It's really kicked
It's
up.
really hard.
There's blood everywhere. There's
tried.
a couple of bodies.
Well, do we get? So this would not be considered tracking, so we wouldn't have
And you're not tracking yet.
advantage yet. Okay.
No. Did anyone else jump in on the investigation?
Sure, I'll jump in on it. What do I have to? What am I doing again?
An investigation check. So similar to your perception check earlier, but investigation.
Oh, okay. So roll a 20 side and then add my. Okay.
Pretty much everything revolves on a 20-sided dice in this.
I
game.
got.
Can I do that as well?
your
or am I-
inspiration.
No,
check.
you inspired.
And which one am I? Perception?
Investigation.
Oh, investigation. Oh, luckily I have a +2. I have 17.
17.
Okay.
RJ, do you want in on this?
Yeah, I'll
or-
go in. No, got nothing for modifier though, but I'll.
You got 0? What'd you roll?
Natural 19.
19.
Wow, nice.
I'm over
Welcome-
here distracting Sarah.
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons, where the tracking expert can find nothing, and the strong man can find everything,
Yeah.
and it's all based on the dice.
Yeah.
Playing
It-
a song in your ear.
Yeah, it's just that.
I'm
So-
a dragon. Cold is not like my forte.
It is not
it's
your
a problem.
thing. You are like 2 Starbucks coffees short of waking up.
Yeah.
It is one of those things.
All right.
So, RJ, Scott, working together, You both look at the bodies and you determine you were able to rule out magical attacks.
Okay.
Good.
RJ, this doesn't look like magic happened here.
That's nice.
This is
I've ruled that out from what I can tell. Yeah, go ahead.
RJ, you in your professional, and by professional I mean layman's opinion, you concur.
Yep. We're good.
Okay.
No magic.
So you're able to rule out that magic was not used in this attack.
Right, no magic here.
That's good.
You do pick up
Tricks are for kids.
tricks are for kids or very, very old wizards.
Yeah.
In which case, be very afraid. You do pick up hoof prints. You pick up that there was a major scuffle involved. And basically what you can put together is that the rear of the caravan was attacked, and it was very much a hit and run.
I was about to say, so they were ambushed from behind, I guess?
You're able to determine that it looks like they were ambushed.
Yeah.
Looks to be. Let's see. Yes, it looks like they were. The dwarf's words speak true, as it looks like they were ambushed from the east, and you're able to point out some tracks for Sarah to track.
Right. Sarah, there's tracks over here. Could you track these, please?
I would like to go track.
With your
Survival at advantage.
with your tracking ability, please.
Please don't nat one this.
We have about 10 minutes left in this one.
I got it.
That would be a 16.
16. All right. As soon as you were put on the scent, you, like a bloodhound, managed to find tracks, and you determined that while a number of people went into the fight, only 5 seem to have left the fight. You're able to find the you're able to find the wagon wheels, or in the snow it's a little difficult to find, but you do manage to find it. And leading the party, you start making your way east into the forest.
Okay.
Now, how do you want to traverse into the forest?
You're taking lead on this, Sarah. So
I would. I'll take point, and I would like to stealth, please.
All right. So, in one of the nice things I like about D&D, this will be quick, I promise.
No, you're fine. Go
One
ahead.
of the nice things I like about D&D is that the rules don't always have to apply. The
Right.
rules are written in paper, not carved in stone.
Mhm.
One of the rules that I don't particularly like is that everyone rolls a stealth check, and the lowest number possible is the one that you use versus the enemy. This means that anyone wearing heavy armor pretty much ruins the ability to move sneaky or move quietly.
That makes sense.
So what I do is I have everyone make a stealth check, and if more people succeed than fail, then the overall group succeeds. In the event of a tie, the average of the succeeding and failing party will be totaled out versus a couple of scores on my end.
okay.
So you're saying roll for stealth.
Yes, everyone roll a stealth check.
Jeez. I don't like these dice.
19.
Wait.
That one was a bit askew if you want to.
I couldn't even tell if it was upside down or. Yeah.
That's better.
Oh, that is not better at all. That is not better at all.
6.
I have a 4,
Same here.
and that's with my my skills because I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Oh, we always check this skill thing. when
Yeah,
we-
so
okay.
check what you add to yourself.
I got 6.
I got a 4 on the die, so I got a 1 for stealth, so 5.
5. Sarah?
19.
So 4, 5, 6, 19.
I'd like to go really far ahead of everybody.
You can only move half speed, unfortunately. Oh, yes, that's right. You are a ranger.
I'm a ranger in my favorite
Therefore,
terrain.
You are a ranger in mountainous woods, but I'll give the mountains because why not?
I like how she says that in a very
Condescending tone.
you know,
Yes.
And
slightly bratty.
No, she's scouting ahead for us.
because I have natural explorer, difficult terrain does not slow my party.
All right. So,
She sounds exactly like the crown on her head makes her.
I wrote the rule book for a reason.
And raised by wolves.
all right. Give me a 2-minute warning.
Oh yeah, sure.
So you start traversing through the woods. The party, using your expertise, are able to navigate through the woods and find places where the snow is not so heavy.
Okay.
Therefore, as As Sarah deftly dodges from one place to the next, you move about quietly and you get ahead of the party. Everyone else is very, very slowly wading their way through. I mean, not necessarily slowly, I'm sorry, but rather loudly wading
Yeah.
their
Right,
way
exactly.
through the woods.
We're plodding along.
Yeah,
face
you're just kind
planting.
of plodding along at this point. There's no amount of quietness. Birds
Matt's
are
singing
going
really
everywhere.
loud, and he shouldn't be.
breaking branches, causing
Yeah.
landslides, doing all the Ain't nothing subtle about our track through this place.
Matt's singing something along the lines of
Nickelback.
yeah, like a Nickelback song or something.
Who put? Oh, that's you put that in there.
Me to
Okay.
put that in.
At this
Yeah.
point, I'm basically like praying for a wolf attack because
Yeah.
I don't like people.
You're saying you're like all of this skill that I have, all of this expertise that has gone into my ability to remain undetected, brought down by these three.
We still love you, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gone.
Okay, she's ahead,
Sarah is able to leave traces behind her.
and we just follow her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just fall.
follow on the breadcrumbs.
Yes.
All right.
Sarah, I would like you to, no, actually, there's no roll here. You start moving through the woods, and you're able to follow the tracks. And as you're moving through the woods, you come across signs of the tracks sort of stopping. They seem to have gone into the woods about a mile before they seem to slow down and collect themselves into a much more uniform line that you're not accustomed to. This is not normal for bandits.
How many people am I tracking at this point?
You're tracking 5.
5 still? Okay.
Yes. You are still tracking 5. You actually do manage to pick up a couple of signs of fighting. There's discarded bandages and stuff along the way, signifying that they tried to patch people up on the run.
Mhm.
And you continue on, and you come to the edge of a small clearing, and you see a person bundled up who seems to be wandering towards where you're going. He has a scimitar on his side, and he looks worse for wear in the cold.
But he's wandering. He doesn't look like he's patrolling.
He does appear to be moving kind of just in a direction, but not with any immediate purpose.
Okay. How far back is everyone else?
Everyone else at this point is about 120 feet back, but if they get much closer, this person will definitely spook.
Okay.
What to do? What to do?
Yeah, what's gonna do there, pretty princess? What are you gonna do? I'm yelling this from way back in the back of the field. Hey, Sarah, what are you
can hear him
doing?
just on the edge. At this, and at this,
I'm gonna
as
step
you're
out with my
yelling,
short bow.
You step out with your short. Yeah, he turns around. He sees
Stop.
you with a short bow. Ooh, make an intimidation check.
Yeah, I'm really bad at these.
Using your dexterity.
Oh.
Actually,
Using my dex.
yes,
bonus
because you are
instead
aiming.
Of my actual,
Yeah, instead of your actual charisma, because you are aiming at them.
that is a 21.
21. He turns around and he has this makeshift spear from like a pitchfork that seems to have been bent into a spear point. And he sees you, realizing that you have him dead to rights. He just drops the spear and brings his hands up. Like, okay.
And I'm going to wait for everybody else to come up.
Okay. Come up, and you have this person. What do you want to do?
Oh, so we catch up with her now?
Yes, you catch up to him.
I caught him. You talk to him.
Yes.
Who has the what skill are we looking for here? The not intimidation.
He's pretty well at this point intimidated. The
Right.
concept of death seems to have come to his mind.
Okay, good.
Is
So
he hurt?
Stop for an
Is he,
interrogation right at this
He
point.
does not look hurt, but he does look very compliant.
Okay.
yeah, so we wouldn't need
Is he
persuasion
human?
or anything.
No.
Okay.
So he is human.
All right. So he's not the.
We should probably ask this person who they are. What's their name? What are they? Yeah.
He just kind of stutters. Says, "I didn't want to hit a caravan. We were supposed to just go hunting. They left me out here for dead when I wanted to walk away.
How many are there?
There's 5 in the camp total.
And we're pretty sure that he's telling us the truth with everything he says here, right?
You can make an insight check if you like.
Is that done with one or all of us?
Since you're asked, it's roll a d20
Mine's-
and add your insight.
And add insight. Okay. And
This dice doesn't
that is
work.
a 9, and insight is it's 11.
11.
Yeah.
He seems to be telling the truth.
Okay. All right.
He has plenty of signs of someone who is not wanting to die today.
Right. That's what I'm getting at here. So there's 5 of them. Where were they headed?
They're just a couple of 100 yards, if not a little bit more, just further down the way. You've found them this far. They're not much further.
How heavily armed are they?
Right. Yeah.
A few of them have short swords. Most are made-up weapons.
Easy kills. Okay.
And there is the leader.
Who's the leader?
He has some kind of power over others. He was able to control the horses to make them turn into the forest.
2 minutes.
Okay.
Is there a dwarf?
Yes.
Did he kill anybody?
He stutters. He seems a little shocked by what went on.
Okay.
So what do we do with that information? Do we
I said the
think?
dwarf's name.
So he doesn't. Yeah.
He'll answer to Iron Forge.
Yeah. So
Can you talk to him?
They probably wouldn't know the dwarf's name.
I just wanted to know if
yeah,
he was
his-
killing people.
Right. Yeah.
Describe the leader. I want to know who we're targeting.
He has a hood. He carries a dagger. He's got this leather cloak with a chest plate. It has like a dragon design on it.
Is this guy from our town?
No, he came in promising riches and
I'm
fame.
asking, is the guy
oh,
we're
the
talking to-
person.
yeah, the person.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, there's so many people in the city.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you guys think of anything else we want to ask him?
Let's see.
Because I'm going to tell him, like, if we can't think of anything, I'm going to tell him, go back to town. There's shelter.
Do they have any horses? Didn't we see hoof prints?
Yeah,
Yes,
we saw
they do have horses.
Yeah. So they do have horses. Okay.
They're a horse now.
Where were they? We know which direction they were going in, but what was their destination?
To their camp.
Okay,
That's what
they're
he
going to their
explained, to their camp.
All right. And we found out how far their camp is. How
Yeah.
far away
About
their
300 yards at this
camp.
point.
All right. Cool.
We got any details about the camp?
Is there anybody else at the camp?
There's
Camp,
5,
walls.
6 total.
Other than the 5 people, the bandits, are there, like, hostages or...
More people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we have to take a break, so
Right.
we'll go ahead and I'll give y'all all those details, and y'all can recap the bullet points and such. And when we come back, y'all will make your way towards the camp after deciding the fate of the young man.
All right. So we're going to take a break here, and then when we come back, we're going to keep the Facebook Live video going throughout the break, so you can see whatever it is that we do in between the time as we're going away.
This doesn't like me.
So yeah, when we come back, we will have part 2 of this little experiment here on In-Game Chat. We will be right back after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. It's really loud. We're going to bring that back down. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. I'm Scott, along with Josh, Matt, Sarah, and RJ. We are in the middle of our D&D campaign. I send it over to Josh now, who is our game master, and will recap and bring us back up to speed.
Okay, so for those of you just joining, our party has, we're playing a tabletop game called Dungeons and Dragons, and our party has just been given their task to locate a bandit camp just outside of a city that has been taking advantage of an unusually cold winter that has occurred within the city. The party has managed to track down and stop someone who appears to be from the bandit camp, and they have intimidated him and caused him to disarm himself. And after getting the questions they need, now comes the big question of what to do with this person.
Disarm. Well, we've already just done that.
Yeah,
Disarmed him. He has nothing on him.
Does he look like does he have like blood on him?
You're going to lean in a little bit.
Does he look like he had blood on him?
He does, but it looks to be just minor scratching. And it looks like he does not appear very accustomed to the woods. And anyone who's wandered in the woods knows you pick up briars and thorns and that kind of thing.
So I'm thinking he's probably maybe didn't attack, because he didn't have like others' blood on him.
All right. So send him back then.
Yeah, let's send him back to town.
Okay.
All right. You take his weapon and you tell him to go back to town, and he shakes us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll go now. I'll go. And he turns around and takes off. You have 300 yards between you and this bandit camp. What would you like to do?
I say we sneaky up to the camp. And,
We're not good at sneaky.
Do we?
We can roll.
Do we
again.
roll again to see how sneaky we are?
Yeah, we can roll again to see how sneaky we are.
Stealth round.
Yep.
But
We could. We might sneaky.
so do we roll to sneak, and if we don't like it, we can stop sneaking, or is
No,
that
you just
are
roll-
you committed to it?
We just
You
roll
commit to it.
sneak and either succeed or fail.
Is that an idea that anybody wants to go with, or should we try? Is there anything else?
As opposed to rushing the front door and hoping for the best.
Right. I mean, can if we're sneaky up behind them, is there any way we can flank them from the side or come around? Or
If they're in the middle of the woods, anything's possible.
okay, I don't know. What's the thought here? You're our ranger and tracker person. Yeah. Any? What are your thoughts on this, there, Sarah?
Why don't I go look and see what the camp looks like and come back?
It's not a bad idea. She's got better stealth than we do.
Much.
We'll send her to do that.
All right. So
Go forth, woman.
you leave the rest of the party behind, and you begin to make your way into the woods carefully. Go ahead and roll your stealth check.
I would like to use my GM inspiration.
Go ahead.
19.
I saw that. that would have ended in disaster, to say the least. But see, this is kind of what meeting the GM's challenges do. It gives you the ability to be heroic and not completely mess things up all the time, which happens a lot.
For those who didn't see it, I rolled a critical failure the first time.
Yeah, she would have, all of China would have known you were here. So you move in and you quietly make your way into the camp, or not into the camp, but around the outskirts of the camp. You can see there are about 6 tents, and it seems like there's a much larger group there, but now shrunken down in size, whether some of them be on patrol or had not survived the attack. It's hard to say.
The chat room's going nuts about a party split.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There are multiple songs about splitting the party.
Okay.
Multiple songs about the dangers of splitting the party.
Gotcha.
So, going around, you manage to scope out the camp. You can find where they're keeping 4 horses. You do find both wagons. They are fully loaded. They have not been unloaded. And this is odd, given the time frame between the attack and you getting there. Bandits would have completely stripped that cart down completely of supplies at this point.
Where are the people? Do I see anybody?
You see 4 individuals, some of them wearing leather armor, a couple of them having some form of metallic armor, sitting around a campfire, keeping a general watch around, and you see one person hooded with a leather overcoat and steel chest plate. You identify him as the leader, the person who is leading the group of bandits at this point, and who has convinced them to become more brave.
Okay.
And you see him kind of wandering about. You see no one is touching the wagon supplies.
All right. I'm going to head back and
Okay.
tell everybody.
You find a couple of blind spots in the camp that the party could attempt to approach from. The difficulty would be decreased
Okay.
in sneaking up on them. In the meantime, while Sarah is scoping it out, you three are standing there in the forest, and you raise your hand. What do you want to do?
Oh, no.
Okay. You're standing there in the woods, awaiting a return, and you hear off in the distance just a very faint wolven howl. And it starts echoing, and after a few minutes, Sarah, you hear this too, and I'm sorry, you hear this too. I apologize for my hand hitting the
No,
desk,
you're fine.
by the
You're
way.
fine.
And you hear the sound of wolves off in the distance, and you can tell that just with your experience, you know that they're on the hunt. So I need all three of you, as you start to hear the howls get louder, all three of you, go ahead and make survival checks.
Okay. Survival checks.
10.
Where is my survival thing?
Very bottom.
Uh,
It's the bottom one.
Okay, yeah, I get a nice fat 0 on that one. Goose egg. Let's see what I get for my roll. I'm a dead man. 4.
I got a 12 total.
12. Hearing the wolves howling, you're not entirely sure what to do. RJ, you know that the best bet would be to seek a high ground or to head away from the open spaces. So you tell everyone we need to start moving away from here.
Would the moving away from there, would that be going towards Sarah in the camp, or is that open space?
You can move towards Sarah if you wish.
I-
You're
I say
far away
yeah.
from enough to camp. You want to learn one. So I'll start.
Yeah, I say we move towards Sarah.
Yeah, away from the howl.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all start staying on the move, and you can hear the howls and moving away from it. Sarah, you know where it is, and you know that it's kind of a ways off, but there's no guarantee that the wolves won't get involved in what's going on here. As hungry and desperate as the local wildlife has been, this could be a bad sign.
Preemptively, let me point out that my favorite enemy is beasts.
Yes. So that's why I'm telling
Yeah.
you know all of this stuff. So you start to make your way back. All three of you start to gather in together, and you can hear every now and then, it's every few minutes, every 15, 20 minutes, you hear the howling, and you hear that they seem to be moving in and around the woods.
I would like to cast a spell on Scott.
Okay?
I would like to cast Heroism,
All right.
which will up his bravery. If we're going to go into a fight, I want to,
Yeah. Go ahead and pull up heroism for me, please. Just because.
Here, I can take that over for a bit if you want.
Yeah. Just long enough for just long enough to set it here so I can make sure, because I believe heroism gives temporary hit points, but we'll take care of that before we start anything.
Oh, like he takes temporary hit points?
He gains
Oh,
extra
gains,
health.
okay.
I think it's like a D4, but check for me, please. So gathering together, you're at this point about 100 yards, and you're all back together. With the wolves slowly closing in, what would you like to do?
I figure we need to take the camp before the wolves.
I agree.
For sure, the wolves won't go anywhere near the camp if you can take it.
So we all got to go in, right? All in on the camp.
What's
yeah,
the
that's
plan?
why I'm trying to hopefully buff Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, so Scott, you gain 3 temporary hit points. So your current hit points are 10, I believe, or no, it's more because you're a fighter.
He's 12.
I have 12.
So right now you have 15 hit points, and you are immune to being frightened.
Okay.
So you don't feel any fear.
All right, I'm at 15 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all about to go into the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all together, right?
Yes, you are all
And
together.
I can only do that
so
one.
so the chat can stop panicking. They are all together. They survived.
But I can only do that per person. It's not like a area of
it's,
effect.
It's only a one
Okay.
person thing.
So if we're all together, I could cast Bless, and because it says here I can bless up to 3 people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
What's
So-
the duration on the spell?
Concentration up to a minute.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so you
probably
might-
right before we get there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll say that for later.
Yeah. And I forget what the duration for heroism is, but I'm going to say, because I'm the GM,
Yeah,
I'm going to
exactly.
say it lasts.
There's
It-
no, again, this is not, this is very,
So
it's a very flexible game.
Yes.
I'm going to fill them in on the best approaches to the
Mm-hmm.
camp that I'd spotted.
All right. So I need everyone to go ahead and make another stealth check if you want to sneak up on the camp.
Stealth check.
21.
All right.
8.
Jesus.
Yeah.
4. I'm at 4.
No, it was on.
No, I'm gonna hold.
So
I
one
was gonna
does
do
10.
mine.
10?
10 on stealth.
Okay, that's enough. So there's a tie.
Once again, Sarah just like leaves us alone.
All right. No,
See
no.
what helps?
With Sarah's help, the two of you who don't do that well are aided and assisted in staying more quiet. You
Okay.
basically follow in their exact footsteps, and you're able to stay quieter. So you come up onto the camp. You're hiding behind one of the tents. You're in a blind spot as far as everyone else is concerned. You see the horses that pulled the wagon. You can see a few additional horses all stabled together. There are 6 in total. And you can hear the bandits eating in the campfire, or eating from the campfire in the middle.
So they're eating. Nice and distracted.
Yep.
Where's the leader?
The leader is pacing around, but he seems to be around one of the tents on the far side.
Okay, so we don't have line of sight on him right now.
You could get it very easily, if that's what you're... If you're wanting to ambush him, you can.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what we're going to go into.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to go into a combat phase here to explain what
Oh, wait.
happens.
Combat music. Cue combat music.
No.
I've got my own.
I was adding to.
He is a bard, isn't he?
This works.
Okay.
This will be great.
Yeah.
You can ask my party. I'm kind of a stickler for music, but this will work great. So usually what happens is the party rolls what's called initiative. They take a 20-sided dice. They add their bonuses as given to them by their class. And whoever has the highest number goes first. During the break, we went ahead and rolled initiative. So the order is the leader, Bandits 1 and 2, Matt, RJ, Bandit 3, Scott, Sarah, and then the 4th Bandit. However, because the party managed to sneak up onto the camp, each of you get a free action before the rest of the party before the enemies can respond.
Surprise round.
So I would go first.
Top of the round then is Matt.
I would like to get line of sight so I could cast Hideous Laughter on the leader.
All right, Hideous Laughter on the leader. It is a natural 1. So that does not come with damage, or does it?
I believe it does.
All right, another GM rule that I have, and the party right now just got super excited. My party listening just got super excited. On a natural 1 in my games, when making a save, the damage is doubled. So Tasha's Hideous Laughter's damage is doubled. We
We're
got
going
it.
through rule books here.
Sorry, I thought we had the damage written down. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. It is... Actually, I do not see it saying it has damage. My apologies. However, I will...
saving throw.
Yeah, or it falls prone. The leader seems to find something very, very amusing as you step out and you incant something to his face, and you see the leader collapse and double over. He is not only prone, he is considered helpless.
Yeah.
Does that mean attacks on him get advantage now?
Non-ranged attacks. All right. So, it's RJ.
We still together?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wanted to cast Bless on everybody.
All right, so you cast a bless, which adds a 1d4 to all of your 20-sided dice rolls.
Okay.
All right, what else do you want to do? You have your movement. If you want to go ahead and charge in.
Fuck, I just go in with the rest of the group then.
Okay, so y'all are all going to move? Y'all are all going to charge in, I would presume.
Because dude's still helpless, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get to him not this turn, but the next turn.
Okay.
If you want to run past everyone else, you have 4 bandits in your way. All right, Sarah, or I'm sorry, Scott.
Okay, I have some. Let's see, features and traits. I have Watcher's Eye. I don't know what that is.
That's not really important right now.
Okay, good. Never mind then. So I mean, I don't really know what I would have the ability to do other than make an attack.
You can rush in and fight. Because you're catching them unawares, you do have advantage on your strikes.
Yeah. So I mean, I would go in for a strike.
This is where you lead the charge, basically.
Yeah. I do have a bullhorn.
If you get into trouble, you can use it.
And you have
So,
bravery.
with everyone else stepping out and making their attacks, the bandits look up your way and they don't have time to react before you come charging through the camp, kicking up snow and dirt as you run in and you see the first poor sod between you and that leader. Go ahead and make your attack roll at advantage.
And the advantage comes from
Taking them by surprise.
So roll
no.
2D
Where does that come from?
No,
We're taking them by surprise, so we get advantage. So roll 2d20.
2d20.
And take the higher number.
And
plus
take the
you
higher
get
number.
to add a d4.
uh,
Because Or is that for saving
I
throws?
feel awful with just being completely off my spell game. But go
Okay,
ahead and roll
so
it.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
it's attack and saving.
All right, I'm rolling.
Yeah, and then go ahead and RJ roll a 4-sided dice if you have one.
4-sided die?
Yeah,
Oh, the caltrop?
yeah.
Okay.
Highest I got was an 11. Do I add anything to that?
Add your to hit bonus, which should be listed next to your weapon,
Oh, okay. So that's plus 6.
plus 6.
How to read this thing?
17.
It's the one on top.
Very top? 2.
+2.
2. All right, so you just come rushing in with your weapon and catching him completely off guard. You bring a slash right across from the collarbone all the way down. Go ahead and what is the damage of your attack?
Where does the damage come from again?
What weapon are you attacking with?
The long sword. So I
it's
have to
an-
roll the d8.
Yeah, so it's a D8 plus strength, plus, because you took the dueling feature, you add 2 to that.
This says d8 plus 6.
Yes, so it's a D8 plus 6.
Okay, so just roll this.
Yeah.
I got 7, 13.
You come charging in, and that slash cuts through it, and blood just explodes onto you as you appear to have hit something very, very deep. You just gash into him. He doesn't even have time to react before he goes from alert to shocked to collapsing from the shock of the blow. He
Fantastic.
is out of the fight.
Wonderful.
One shot,
Was
one
this,
kill.
Now, was this a just one
This
of the guys?
was one of the 4.
Okay, not the leader.
There's no getting to the leader without going through them at this point.
All right, so we've gotten, that's one guy down.
That's one guy down.
3 to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, is it my
And
turn?
Sarah, yes.
All right. So there are now 3 guys in front of us, and then the leader.
The leader.
How close is the leader to the guys?
You're a little, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You can hear yourself. Close to the guys, the leader is about 15 feet.
Okay. How far away from them am I?
You're at least 30. So he's 45 feet away from you.
Okay. I would like to move 17 feet forward.
Well, give me rounds of 5. Give me
Okay. I'll move 20 feet forward.
within how much?
Scott, where are you now? Did you move away
I mean,
from the guys?
I'm obviously probably still standing where I
Yeah, you're
stood.
30 feet away.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a line where I can go 5 feet wide that will not hit Scott, but will hit multiple of the guys?
You could come in, go around the tent, and come in at an angle if you'd like.
Okay. I would like to do whatever that is to encompass the most number of guys
Okay,
in
firing
a
for
5
effect.
by 30 line.
Doable.
Okay. I am going to use my breath weapon, which is a lightning strike.
Okay.
It is a dexterity saving throw
All right, DC.
against a DC of 11.
That's a success. Critical fail. Success. And he's prone, and he's actually helpless, so that is an automatic fail. So what's the damage?
I got max damage.
And what is the
Yeah.
max? Oh, Lord. So you guys, you basically hear Sarah scream, move out of the way. And you just look behind you and you realize, oh no, Dragonborn, breath weapon.
Yeah.
And you just take a step to the side as you expect fire. Dragon fire, it makes sense. Instead, what comes out of this dragon's mouth is a bolt of electric energy that just coerces clean through the camp. It sends the campfire and the pot flying, and it just completely incinerates one of the bandits to ash. And the other one, and the leader is now laying there, very badly hurt.
Wow. Okay.
So
And-
Sarah just did a super move.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do it once per short rest.
Yeah.
But that was awesome.
Okay.
Top of the round is the leader. He's going to make his. All right, he fails. He's still laying there.
He's still laughing.
He's laughing even as the shock coerces through his body. It's a very electrifying experience. Second bandit is completely gone. So, Matt.
All right. Is there's one bandit left?
There's two left.
Is
They
any of
both,
them
they both look worse for wear.
are any of them a dwarf?
One of them does appear to be dwarf, yeah.
Matt's gonna take the easy way.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm that's the
Oh no,
sun.
you're trying to get the sun. Yeah.
So I target the other non-dwarfy one,
The non-dwarfy one.
and I have a dagger.
Okay, so go ahead and make your attack.
The non-dwarfy one.
8
Plus 4.
plus 4
Plus 2 from RJ.
Okay, yeah. So 8 plus
Did he?
6.
Oh, did he already roll bless?
Yeah.
Okay.
He got
Yep.
2.
So 8 plus
He has to
6
roll
is,
that each time.
12?
Just make-
Oh,
I
never
have to roll that each
Sorry.
time.
Yeah.
So I have to roll this
So 8 plus 2, 10.
this thing again.
Really? 8 plus 4, 12.
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah,
roll that
so
again.
Roll that again.
This thing.
Yeah.
Okay. 4.
4.
So
Your dagger appears almost divinely channeled, striking into the bandit. Go ahead and roll d4 plus dexterity. Roll your damage.
D4 plus dexterity. So what, the
No,
20?
no, it's
or
just,
the
add your dexterity
Okay, yeah.
bonus.
4
4.
Plus 6.
Plus
Plus
six.
2.
Oh, plus 2.
So you come in, and as the bandit is sitting there seizing from the electricity coursing through his veins, you come in and you finish him off with this slash across the midsection, cutting into his leather armor and leaving him doubled over and bleeding out. Do you want to finish him off? I don't. Are you going lethal?
Well, you incinerated someone, so
Okay.
for this guy, I am.
Yeah. And with kind of a free action, when you have the strike, you come down right into the back of his neck with a stab. With a stab. Okay. RJ.
Who's left?
There's
The dwarf.
there's the dwarf, and then there's the leader.
What's the state of the leader?
Really bad. He looks rough.
And what is the dwarf is just he's
He's the blacksmith's son.
right. So we need to keep him protected, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, if we knock him unconscious, we can wake him up later,
Yeah. Okay.
as long as nobody fries him.
Well, I do have.
And I can't do that again.
Well, I do have a blunt object, so
RJ, you're a little quiet. If you want to lean into it.
we do have a blunt object. So
Yeah.
All right.
you can knock him out, couldn't it?
Yep. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
You're gonna knock out the dwarf son, or the non-dwarfy leader?
The leader.
Okay.
The leader.
Who'd you?
See, he
You
didn't
said-
know.
The leader or the?
I'm gonna say yeah. You can make it. You can make both. You could get to either one.
Okay, well, the leader, because we're trying to save the.
No, that's fine.
the-
That's fine.
why
That's
would you
fine.
think? Why would you think I'm going to brutalize the dwarf?
Because
Go
we were
ahead.
just talking about it.
Go ahead and roll at advantage because he's prone.
Okay, 11,
11. Roll again and see if it's a higher result.
5.
5.
No, it's 11.
But can he add his own bless?
No, because he did
No.
not bless himself.
I can't bless because I blessed everybody else.
You can't bless yourself. No,
you-
everybody knows that.
Okay.
Well, wait, what's your attack bonus? You rolled an 11.
Oh, okay.
What do you add to that?
His attack bonus. You do have an
Oh.
attack bonus.
Right.
Oh,
I understand we've not played. RJ and I
14.
haven't
14.
played this ever.
You come down and you crack your mace across his skull. Go ahead and roll damage,
1d6.
which is 6, plus your strength bonus.
Jesus. I got a 3 on the dice. Strength bonus?
Yes.
1.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
4.
4.
4. All right. Doing math here. All right, so you club him, but he is still moving. It
Okay.
does not appear like you did enough to knock him unconscious.
Okay.
All right, the dwarf is going to actually try to strike out at you for, killing his friend.
What a jerk.
That is
Oh, wow.
That's a 17 plus. That hits.
All right.
So he slashes at you with a warhammer. That is 6 points of damage.
All right.
How much damage? How much can you take?
I have 7 hit points.
Oh my God!
So he comes in with this warhammer and swings upward and knocks you just about prone. You can your
RJ, you
face is
should have gone after Dwarf Son.
Yeah, your face is a mess. You can see that Matt has just been clobbered.
Is
With this
talking a
warhammer.
free action?
Sure.
Ironforge, drop the axe.
Good Lord!
It wasn't an axe, it was a warhammer. But
Drop
sure.
the hammer.
All right.
A little late.
That's a mechanic thing, so I'll say on your turn you can roll intimidation to force him to surrender.
I don't really want to use my action to do it.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to go to Park Place without rolling a dice. What's your
Well, I
plan?
was just trying to. I wasn't trying to intimidate him. I was just trying to shock him with his name.
Oh, yeah, like I said, that would give you advantage on the intimidation.
Okay.
So that was him. So Scott,
Yes.
you're up.
What is currently? What's
Avenge me.
Wait, I was going to say currently. What's the situation here?
The dwarf has retaliated. The bandit leader is currently lying there in the snow, still shake. Oh, roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, Matt needs to roll a Constitution saving throw. Everyone.
Otherwise
Which-
known as a concentration check.
This
does
what,
get to
what
add
does
plus
this
2,
do?
right?
What does this do? Game
Yes,
Master.
he does. So whenever,
explain to everybody what's going on.
I'm sorry, I was going to that. To explain, y'all go ahead and do that. Sarah will help. When Matt casted that spell, it has a feature on it called concentration.
So 20.
And concentration basically means that it's his ability to focus on the spell that he casts because he has to maintain it.
Yeah.
If he takes damage, he has to roll to see if he loses the concentration on the spell, in which case the spell effect would end.
Okay.
So what did you get?
23.
23? Yeah, you more than make it up. That really just made the resolve harder, even. So you managed to maintain your focus on the spell and keep the bandit leader incapacitated.
All right, so Bandit Leader is still incapacitated.
Yes, the dwarf seems to be lashing out. He looks hurt. You can do non-lethal damage. The flat of your blade or something to knock him out rather than kill him. It is possible.
Yeah, we really need to control old boy. If he's going around killing our bards.
Take out the leader.
Go after... Oh, wait. We're talking... Oh. Sarah says to take out the leader.
Because the leader is, sort of mind. I get the feeling the leader's mind controlling these dudes.
Oh, okay. So, okay, then I go for leader.
All right, so you run up. You have advantage on this strike.
Which, again, is both
Yes.
these. And I take the higher of the two. Okay.
Do you want to use your longsword versatile, which would
Which would be two hands.
yeah.
What does that do to my damage?
You lose 2 to your armor class, so you're a little bit easier to hit, but you go up to a 10-sided dice instead of an 8-sided dice. So you do more damage,
I would do that.
theoretically.
Yeah, we'll do the two hands, because I'm not pulling out my crossbow anytime soon.
Yeah, so you throw down your shield as it goes down into the snow, and you grab your longsword with both hands. You flip it right side up, you come down with a thrust. Go ahead and make your attack.
Okay. So I'm still rolling to see if I hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus, I suck.
What's the larger number?
I don't know. You want 5 or you want 6?
I think it's 6 plus.
Well, I'm doing versatile though. Oh, it's 6 plus 6, so it's 12.
Plus
12.
1 from RJ. So it's
Plus 1 from RJ, so it's 13.
So it's 13. You go to stab down and you just pierce right into his chest. Go ahead and roll damage.
Now that's the 10, right?
Yeah. You managed to find a space in that chest plate to get into.
And that's a 10 plus what? Plus 6?
Yeah.
So
Which you are using it two hands, so it is.
is it more than that?
I believe it's plus 4.
Is it plus-
Because of your dueling feature is only supposed to be one-handed. So
Well,
you're
then it's
using
a
it two-handed.
then I got a 9.
That's 9 still.
Yeah.
So where did you want to stab him?
In the head.
You just come down right into his eyeball, and with the last, as you pierce into it, you see the faint tint of red to his flesh as the cloak kind of flops backwards. The hood.
Oh yeah, okay.
Sarah, you notice that it is a tiefling.
okay.
And
A what?
It is almost a half.
Think Nightcrawler from the X-Men.
Yeah, very, very a creature that has
Scales?
some kind of infernal or demonic influence
Okay.
in his
yeah.
form.
Good. Explaining that to the audience so that they know what this is.
AKA, before he dies, he's going to use his reaction, his dying breath, to cast a spell on you.
Okay.
Really? Here, hand me that. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Who?
You.
You.
Oh. What do I D20 again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? Couldn't you just tell me?
Okay, and then what do I add to it?
So it's Constitution modifier, which
I
is
believe
what?
it's con.
Yeah, it's plus. Oh, is that in saving throws or in?
I'm sorry, it's dexterity, but go ahead and keep it. Or what's the number on the dice?
The number on the dice was 13.
Okay, that makes it.
Okay.
So you leap out of the way just as these flames lick across your armor, and you take 12 points of damage.
Oh my God.
Fire damage. Reduced to half because you saved. So
6 points.
So I take
6
6 points,
yes.
but I had 15.
Yes. So now you're down to 9. And the
Okay.
temporary points are gone. You're still immune to fear, though.
All right, I'm still not scared. Well, so I'm down to 9 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And as with its dying breath, it casts this flame explosion onto you. And about this point, you see the dwarf stagger a little bit and himself fall to the snow. You have survived, but to what end?
Okay.
That'll work.
Are we out of combat now?
Yes, you are now out of combat.
I would like to go loot the leader.
Your party member could be bleeding to death, and you're just going to go check the body. Go ahead.
But that's my job.
Yeah, that's your job.
That's my job. I was gonna. The next thing I was thinking about. Okay,
Okay.
Matt's at like 1 point of health.
Investigation. So investigation check for Sarah. Roll an 8-sided dice, and
Okay.
Can cure wounds? Can that affect myself? Can I cast?
yeah, you could cast it on yourself, but let him do his thing first.
Can't bless yourself though. I know that.
I'm on.
You can.
I got 5 on,
Oh.
on the dice.
You can. He just only had 3 people. He couldn't.
Oh, that's right.
You got what?
I got 5 on the dice.
So what's your wisdom modifier?
5.
Modifier?
Is it? Which one? Wisdom. 3.
3.
3 on the wisdom.
Plus the 2, so that does make it a 5. So you place your hands on Matt, and the wounds are immediately cured. The armor is, your face is still pretty much worse, but it'll recover in time.
So you're back to max health.
Yeah, you're back to maximum health. You are perfectly okay. What was your investigation?
17.
17. You start digging through this leader, looking for anything you can find. Because of the accuracy of the strikes against him, the chest plate that he's wearing is undamaged. So you...
Because I went in through the head.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And you see, looking on the body, you see that he is wearing an odd cloak. It is a dark, dark red.
Did anything happen to Dwarf Man?
He is unconscious.
Okay, cool. You probably said that, and I totally blanked, but yes.
Yes, he fell over.
Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of seeing what had transpired, he just
You're cool.
falls over
Yeah, you're cool.
unconscious. Looking through him, you can see that he carries these occult symbols. You don't recognize where they're from, but he has on him a letter.
Parchment. What?
This is the coolest stuff you can buy in Hobby Lobby.
Oh, okay.
So this is what you find.
While she's doing,
As a point of order, how smart do you have to be able to read?
I mean, anyone can read.
Okay.
Anyone
You
can
have
read.
to get like a.
Why? What is
4
your
or-
intelligence? I'm just curious. Without the yeah.
It's a 9.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
you can read. You're a little below average, but only by a little bit.
while she's doing that, can I cast Cure Wounds on Scott?
Yes, go ahead and roll a d8 and add your charisma. That's this one.
Make it count, man. Make it count.
6, 3,
9.
so 9.
So you
Okay.
have 9
Oh
hit
wow. And I had 9. So do I go up to full health again, or
Yes,
do
you
I go up to 18,
No,
or do I
you
just go to full?
You go to full health.
I go back to 15.
The temporary hit points are gone.
Oh, so I'm back to whatever my starting hit points were, like from when we started the game. Okay, I'm back to 12 then.
Okay.
Okay,
Now,
cool.
Sarah, would you like to read the letter out loud?
Yeah.
All right. My dear Gardril, ever the ice heart watches over us, his chill gaze since has fixated on the intruders to his realm, the Arlenians, and he has found them wanting. I am forever in contact with the Ice Heart's will. He would see this domain returned to what it once was, the frozen and unclaimed tundra he left it so long ago. Presently, we know of the guilds of the High Range are sending a stout convoy to brave the Emerald Caps. Waylay them, and ere long the capital shall fall into despair as we press the gap between those who eat and those who starve. Strike hard, for the Ice Heart's gaze shall protect your way. Wormsayer Goldbrith.
About this time, you start to piece it together, and you start to wonder who or what this could be. This is far beyond banditry. This is an organization.
About 15 minutes, by the way.
And as you sit there and ponder it, and you begin looking around in the area, you hear off in the distance, you notice the wolf howls have ceased. Go ahead, Sarah, and make a perception check.
12.
12. You hear it about the time everyone else does.
Wings of a dragon. It's a
You
dragon.
see flying off in the distance
I guess.
a dragon, a bright, pale complexion dragon off in the distance. As his roar echoes throughout the forest, it sends a chill down your spine, and what little warmth you had is useless against the very sound coming from him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fight him later.
You see it fly off in the distance, not threatening you, but you see it flying over the Emerald Caps.
Oh yeah. Still, we're gonna have to fight him later.
We're probably need to, gather up the dwarf and go back and report back into.
Did we loot these guys and get all their stuff?
Yes, you did, actually.
Okay.
As you guys are
Since I know we found the letter on the leader, but
Can we the caravan stuff? We could probably take that back.
I got the horses.
Well, the horses, the goods, and everything.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll have food. So
you find the chest plate, and you all collectively find 120 gold pieces.
okay.
You can surmise based on the minted based on the minted origin, you can surmise that they are not from Arlene. These coins were minted in southern regions based on where they were minted from. So you can only presume that this is from the caravan.
Right. All right.
I'd like to tie the dwarf up.
Conveniently, you got a rope.
I do. I also have a snare. Is he
You actually have something that would be a bit more fitting.
I have handcuffs.
Exactly.
Yes, I have handcuffs.
So you clap him in irons and tie him up just to be safe, because dwarves have a habit of breaking They're very strong. They have a habit of breaking rope and chain alike.
I'm gonna like cocoon him in all 50 feet of the silk rope.
So the dwarf bundle has been packaged for a first-rate delivery.
Is he bleeding out or anything?
No, he is not. He appears a little singed, but he will live.
I forgot I speak Elven and Dwarf.
Yeah.
I forgot my character does that.
Well, most of the races speak Common.
Okay, yeah.
So Common, which is English, basically. So it is a universal trade language.
Cool.
So throwing him, I presume, onto the cart, you lash the horses to the wagon itself, and you start to make your way out of the woods. Do you have anything to say to each other?
What was it? 2 wagons? Or
Yes, 2 wagons.
okay, so both wagons we're taking them both.
2 horses per wagon.
Okay.
So that leaves you with 2 spare horses.
Okay. Well, Matt, get up on a horse because you're still.
No, he's fine.
I'm
No,
full
we're
Dice
all
is still messed up.
everybody's healed. We're all good. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you're trying to hint us into asking questions to each other or.
Talk amongst yourselves as you're traveling, whatever. Maybe you have a comment or two to make. It's part of the role-playing aspect. Usually at our table, there would be a lot of downtime like this, but I'm just giving it this
Right.
one time so that y'all can interact with each other.
Anybody any good with magic?
Just healing.
All right, I want to show them the symbols and the cloak and the breastplate and stuff, and just see if anybody can come up with anything.
Okay. If you are proficient, you may make an Arcana check if the little bubble is circled in. With the exception of you can always roll as a bard.
So that's a 20?
The skills thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a bubble that's filled in for that.
Arcana's filled out in mine.
So it's 15 plus
So it does have that bubble's filled in for you.
Arcana?
Yeah.
So go ahead
and roll a
d20.
Yeah.
17.
And go ahead and... Nah, the bless would have worn off by now, I think.
Oh, fail.
RJ, you're not sure where it's from. Matt, you look into it, and you actually, being a bard, have heard of the tale of Iceheart, an ancient dragon that presided over the north of the continent of Hithland. He was defeated a long time ago by Saint Arlene.
10 more minutes.
Okay, that's our guildmaster.
No.
No, that's the person the town's named after. That's right.
Yeah, that's the person the town is named after. Traveling back to the city, it takes a little extra time because you're having to navigate the woods. The militia that was surveying the crime scene is grateful to see you having returned the goods, and you travel back into the city to a moderate response. The wagons, now being brought in broad daylight, are greeted with quite a celebratory cheer from the locals, and you feel almost a sense of heroics, bringing what was going to be a disaster to possibly one of the few saving graces the city has seen in some time.
So what do we want to do with this dwarf? He was a raider, and he did attack me. I mean, do we want to hand him, just like let him go with a warning, or hand him off to the Thoratai?
And I didn't write this down, but why was the father lying to us originally?
He was worried about what would happen to his son because
Okay.
banditry tends to be punished by hanging.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
Check him for magic.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just
Make
check.
an Arcana check.
It, as well.
8.
8. Doesn't appear to be anything magical on him.
I got a 10 and Arcana's
12.
2.
So we got a 12.
12. You don't notice any magics on him. And it appears to be just him. You pick up some residual magics on him as if he was affected by some kind of magic. But it's hard to tell whether that was a prior spell or if it came from the magic electricity that he was zap-fried with. So,
All right. I'm inclined to give him to his dad and let his dad. I'm not holding a grudge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did, stab, some dude that was next to him. Are y'all okay with handing him off to his dad?
What didn't he pass out the moment what was the thing called a tiefling?
Yeah.
The moment Scott took out the tiefling, he
Yes.
killed over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indicates to me he was influenced by him. So yeah, go ahead, give it to him.
So, taking your dwarf burrito over to the blacksmith shop, you kind of drop him off, and the blacksmith rushes out and looks upon his son, alive, battered but alive, and you can see tears slowly streak down his face. Tears of just hours upon hours, maybe days upon days of fear and anxiety at the thought of loss of his son just come crashing through his body. And he doesn't have much more to say other than thank you.
He might have gotten mind whammied. Just FYI.
I'll look after him. I'll see the church keeps an eye on him. Thank you.
I unburrito him because I want to keep my rope.
You make your way back to the guild hall, and you see sitting there, speaking to you. You recognize them being some of the merchants that would have been involved in this, the caravanners. You see them sitting at Vincent's desk on the far side, and you can hear their talking back and forth quietly before you knock on the door, and you see that it is a group of elves that Vincent has been talking to, because, and those are charges now. I presume you have good news.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are wagons outside.
Excellent. You see, I told you, Guild Valor can handle anything that you have to throw at him. And we gotta go.
No. I was thinking
Elwyn
of something
there?
else.
Huh?
Is Elwyn there?
That is Elwyn
Okay.
speaking.
Since I know his Elwyn, I take him aside and I show him the letter that Sarah got.
Opens it, which she does not seem willing to part with. Which she
Fine.
magically somehow seems willing to part with now.
Time constraints.
He looks at it and he says,
Troubling news.
yes. I was concerned that there was something more than foul banditry at foot.
We saw a dragon.
We heard a dragon.
It was kind of pretty.
I bet. If the Ice Heart has indeed returned, I will need to send some of our stoutest adventurers out after him. In the meantime, you should take rest, have some well-earned food, and in the future, having completed this mission, I would like to formally welcome you to Guild Valor, not just as initiates, but as fully fledged members. And he hands out 4 Guild Valor cloaks without the trainee, or without the initiate band on it.
So we graduated.
Yeah, you graduated.
Nice.
You nearly died, so congratulations, you graduated.
Right, you graduated. Yeah, exactly.
We finished the tutorial.
Yeah.
I would like to go to the tavern.
Yep, you go to the tavern. There's a great celebration. The supplies are divvied out as best they can be, with others handling the logistics behind it. And talk amongst the town is that the city was saved, short term, from the thaw. or
Can
from the frost.
I sing a song of our tales to the townspeople to, sort of like...
Make a performance check.
4 minutes. by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah. We're a little strapped here.
Yeah.
So make it
14.
14. So 9 plus Bard, because Bards get lots of bonuses to everything. It's a rather good song. It certainly beats some of the local casual playing, and you regale the city of the tavern with story. A night of modest celebration is had, given that the supplies are still low. But what kind of future could portend these members of Guild Valor? Only time will tell. And what is Iceheart and his plans?
What
Well-
indeed?
And thus concludes our game of Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you, Josh, so very much
You're welcome.
for doing this whole thing.
I hope it was entertaining. I hope it was.
I was entertained.
Yes, I was entertained, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. We kind of want to know everybody's feedback on this. I mean, we would like to hear from you, not necessarily phone calls, but if you can, send us messages on Facebook or email us or let us know next episode, what you thought of this or anything like that. And just tell us how much you enjoyed it. If this is something that you guys liked and that it translated well over the air, then it's something we will definitely do again. Not something we're going to do all the time, but, a couple times a year, that sort of thing, just to keep the story going and that sort of thing would be fantastic. So, but if you liked it, you have to let us know. That's all I'm saying. Just let us know that you liked it, because we do this show for you guys. And as long as you're going to listen, we're going to keep doing it. And if you liked what you heard then we will continue to do something like that. So thank you, Sarah, for coming all the way down to do this.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, all of our listeners who were listening specifically for this episode. We appreciate it. And for those of you who braved through this one to listen to this, then we appreciate you sticking by us as well. We're going to be back to our regular show next week. So thank you for joining us in the chat room. Thanks, everybody listening on the stream and on the radio. Thanks, everybody who gets us each week from iTunes. Thank you as well goes out to just everyone else who supported this and wanted to see this happen. We do appreciate it. Head on over to ingamechat.net, and you can join us on Twitter, Facebook. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our Twitch channel that you're watching right now. And you can, join our Steam group that we've got. Join our group on PS4 and Xbox One. Discord. We're all over the place. You can find all that stuff at ingamechat.net. Thank you so much. Have a great week, and we will see you next Saturday.